Great, thank you. Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me on my talk. So I'm Amy Hewick and I'm the Managing Director over at Hewick Events, and I organise lots of different corporate conferences. I specialise in making them more personal. I feel like I don't know where I can stand where I can see everyone, so I'm just going to keep swaying. So we're going to talk about one of my clients that I work really, really closely with, and they have the most senior energy event in Europe that I work with them on. And I also work with them on 2 other events across the year. So they have a renewables event in June and a battery storage conference in October. All of them are organised in the same way. And it is actually on an Excel spreadsheet. So, yeah. But the Spring Forum, which is the event that I'm going to talk about, this is the most senior energy event in Europe. It's quoted as the Davos of the energy industry. It's got over 60 speakers. Barclays was headline sponsor earlier this year. It's held in March in central Oxford. It's in the biggest venue in central Oxford. And in 2014, when we ran the conference, we had the main plen in room 7. When we ran it this year, room 7 was a breakout space. So that's how much it's grown over the last couple of years. We now have over 400 delegates. It's a ticketed event, and we have speakers from CEOs from E.ON, Centrica, National Grid, BP, Shell. So it's a very, very senior, very high profile. And some of our press that we have attend the conference are like the Daily Telegraph, the Financial Times, Sunday Times, The Economist, The Energist, Utility Week, etc. So it is super high profile, and it is a super great event. And I do use some tech in it. I don't take all registrations through an Excel spreadsheet, thank God, otherwise I wouldn't be here today. So I probably shouldn't say this as C event here, but I use EventsCase as our main reg platform, our app, and they are awesome and really, really great. And I think they are here today if you haven't found them yet, but they are really, really great as well. But the main planning side of it is on an Excel spreadsheet, so I'm just going to talk you through how that works and how I sleep at night. So it is full of loads and loads of tabs. So tab 1 is the key industry figures. So we start off, let me just move this over. Woo! So we start off planning 18 months in advance. So I am part of, obviously, the overall planning team. We have 2 other industry experts who are also on the planning content team with me. And I'm obviously not an energy expert, I'm an event expert. So I sit down with them probably about every 3 weeks. And we discuss who the key industry figures are. So who are the big players in the industry that are essential to have at our conference. And then there's probably a range between 5 to 10 that then fit in this spreadsheet. And then we start inviting them 18 months, year in advance. We want those key players in the room. And then we start to compile a bit of a speaker list, which is tab 2. You can see where this is going. So on the speaker list, this is the heart of how it all works. So we need to keep this beating. And basically, we need to have, obviously, the name of the speaker, the rough presentation title. We're still working 12, 18 months out from the conference, so obviously very rough at this time. Who's it assigned to within the company, date they've invited them, what date we need to follow them up, and any comments. So, some of the replies I'll get will be things like, yes, definitely keen for your conference, need to check our board committee dates for 2021. So yeah, not 100% confirmed, but they're there, they've shown an interest. So this tab is crucial. And then tab 3, we now start to compile some of the key topics. So what are we actually going to discuss at the conference? We're sort of looking at the future ofs, the role ofs. What are the key topics? What are the main plans? What are we doing with the panel discussions? How's it going to work? What are we going to talk about? And obviously, we've already got those key industry figures confirmed. So we're now starting to plan what we're actually going to discuss and what those topics are, which then leads us on to tab 4. So this tab is more around starting to build that agenda picture. So we've got a few speakers confirmed, we've got a couple of breakout speakers confirmed, but where are we with the whole agenda? Where are the gaps? Where do other people fit? And also quite crucial, and within this industry especially, is are we missing some key female speakers? So female speakers are lacking within the energy industry in general. And this client in particular makes female speakers more prominent in the energy industry and puts them up there with other CEOs on the panels. So again, we're looking for gaps. And Excel makes it super visual to be able to see where the gaps are, where are the female gaps, where are the gaps in industry knowledge, and all those sorts of different bits and elements that can fill into the spreadsheet. And then tab 5. Here we are. So it now starts to look like an actual agenda and what you would normally have at a conference. So this is where it starts to take more of a bigger picture. So we start to look at having the main plans confirmed. We're filling those breakout parts. We've got a confirmed, I don't know how much you can see, but we've got a confirmed side. We've got a backup, options. Again, really visual and really obvious to where our gaps are and where we need to start working on to be able to fill those slots. And on this tab in particular, we've then got a side that says confirmed but unassigned. So yes, we've got someone to speak, but they're not actually in the agenda. They haven't got a topic assigned. So they then sit on that column. And then we've also got an ideas section. So I mentioned earlier about that we've got 2 other industry experts that sit with me as part of the planning. And one of them is actually the CEO of this client. And sometimes on Saturday morning at Park Run, he'll then send me a text and say, while running around some park, I thought about some really great ideas we have at the conference, and this person, and then a week later he'll be like, I was at Utility Week and it was amazing, and this person spoke, so I'll then add that into the ideas list. And then obviously the third one looks at who's requested to speak. So I obviously get emails that say, so-and-so from some company really wants to speak at your event. We've heard it's the Davos of the energy industry. What's next? So I then add that into that column. And this then starts to build our agenda for our internal meetings as well. So that's how we then pull together. When we sit down every 3 weeks, this is the spreadsheet that we then look at. And this tab and tab 2, that's the heart, that keeps beating because I keep adding all the different speakers down it so we know who's confirmed, why they haven't confirmed, if their board committee's date's been confirmed and it's not the same date as ours. Then we start to build the bigger picture. And usually, I rock between those 2 spreadsheets, and I usually stay between these 2, I rock between these 2 tabs, and I usually stay between these 2 tabs all the way probably until about midnight the night before the conference. So we have a lot of MPs that attend and speak at the conference, and obviously their agenda is constantly changing just as much, which then makes our agenda constantly changing. So why does it work? So as I said before, I work with 2 energy industry experts, and they're not event planners. So they know Excel. It's super easy to use. They actually probably know Excel better than me. I've got no formulas in there. It's just all text. And they can then access that, and they know where we're up to. I have tab 2 open every single day, and they can also have access to that same tab, know where we're up to with all the speakers. So it just keeps it simple. I actually used to work with the company before I set up my own company, and I set up their events, and I set them up this way right at the start, and we've just continued to do it ever since. So why change something if it's not broken? So thank you, everyone, for listening, and I think I have a few questions. Do I just touch it? Just read them out, okay. Would you rather use software that replaces a spreadsheet or use software that integrates with your spreadsheet? So I do use some software. So I do use a registration platform. We have an app at the conference that we did a couple months ago. But no, I wouldn't want to use any other software. I don't know what I'd want it to do. If it could automatically put the speakers in, that would be great, but I haven't found that yet. If there are changes from a speaker agenda perspective, how do you ensure there is not duplicate topics? Good question. I'll just read that again. Changes from a speaker agenda. So there are a little bit of duplicate topics at the conference. So normally for the parallel sessions that are then split throughout the afternoon, that will be a stream of renewables. So that'll be a stream of renewable energy, for example. Within the different parallel sessions, we then speak about different things that have happened with renewable energy. For example, the London blackouts. Great example of one type of panel debate that we're discussing that fits within a stream. Have you investigated a platform that could achieve the same thing with more efficiency? Interesting. No, I haven't, and I haven't found one that does that. So if there's someone who sent that question in that knows, then hang around and we'll talk. Yes, I agree. Spreadsheets work well as everyone has access to it. Yeah, and the client uses Dropbox as their internal sharing platform. So again, it's really simple, really easy to use. Everyone has access to it wherever they are. Is there a more efficient way, or have you tried? Oh, that was the same question, similar to the question earlier. So I'll just leave that one. Tab 5 introduces colors to your spreadsheet. Could you use color coding on tab 1 to 4? Yes, I could, but I normally, if on the tab 2, that's the speaker list tab that keeps beating because it's the heart. It isn't color coded, but I put a strike through if they're not confirmed, and then I obviously put them down as confirmed once they are, and then that just keeps ticking over. To add colours to it is just something else to do. Adding colours into the main agenda makes it super visual to see where your gaps are, but probably wouldn't be as useful in the main heartbeat. How does your system work with multiple stages, or does this just... It does just mean add more tabs. But it is only a one-day conference. I'm actually trialing this spreadsheet technique with a company, another client that I work with, that I've got an event next April, and that's a week-long conference. So 2 days of workshops, 3-day conference. I think I'll probably just have tab 1 for workshops, tab 2, 3, 4 for days, 1, 2, 3. But yes, it would just mean more tabs. If there aren't any more questions, then thank you very much.